Welcome to the Titusville Report. My name is Kevin Jeffrey, and I'm joined, as always, by our Titusville contributor, Christopher Childs. And Christopher, we put up our political cartoon again on our website, and what did we say? Here we go again. And can you believe that we're in a situation where we have now a second city attorney who accepted the job, who's running for his life away from Titusville?
Well, I think the first one didn't accept the job. The second one did. He accepted it. This is after, learning about it, interviewing for it, and then accepting the job and saying, I'm going to start Monday. And on Friday, after touring the city, he says, with his wife said, I'm not willing to move here.
Okay,
that's what...
Okay, so
that's what he said.
Tell us about this. Why did his wife not want to move here?
We don't know exactly.
What did she say?
After driving around for a week, someone said maybe it was a polite excuse, and I was still thinking, well, I don't think saying our city looks like garbage or something is a polite excuse. But if that's considered a polite excuse, what's the real reason why? I don't know.
We probably will never know.
Yeah, because you can tour the city on Google Maps, before you get here.
And it's not like she's...
It's just kind of coincidental, too. The same week that Titusville City Hall turns off commenting on social media posts, then the city attorney that's coming in starting on Monday says, never mind.
There was something that they saw that obviously we probably will never know, but
yeah.
I mean, when you have two attorneys in a row that says, okay, I'm out, something is not right, and I don't necessarily think it's the city of Titusville. I rather like the city of Titusville myself. I don't think it's a bad city.
I like it.
We've been here for the last 25 years or so, so I don't think it's a bad city. But when you look at the problems in governance,
that's why I don't believe that just driving around the city is what set them and made them make the decision not to move here. I think it had to be some other stuff, just like the social media comments being turned off. Probably saw that as a nightmare.
Saying, a nightmare. Why would you do that?
Why are you putting yourself in legal jeopardy like this? For what?
They continue to do it, and the brazenness of them doing this is just striking to me. And I think that they're doing it because they don't believe the citizens can do anything about it. It's like when you were younger and somebody says, I bet you won't knock this stick off my shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
And they're almost like challenging the citizens. What are you going to do about it?
I know.
You're going to shut down public comment on a public entity.
Yeah. I said on one of the posts, I said, it's like saying that it's a virtual city hall and you can't protest here. Because really, that's our new town square. That's our public forum. And the Supreme Court has said that a traditional public forum is protected. And so you can go on the steps, literally the steps of City Hall, and protest, and they cannot remove you.
You're consistently seeing in Titusville an aversion to the citizens with public comments, things that Sarah Stokel have said. I mean, and we're going to talk about that. She thinks that people are hijacking public comments.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is disturbing talk. And now you have it where they want to shut down public comment.
They want to make the decision that what you're saying is misinformation.
Correct.
And so they want to be the arbiters of what is real. What do they say? What's that term that George Orwell used? Right think? Is it right think? That you're not doing right speak or right think. If you're not thinking right, they want to be able to shut you down, but only the speech they want to shut down.
That's what it is. So you want someone to come on to that site and only want to hear the things that and that's pretty much what they articulated in the statement. They only want people to hear what they believe you should hear. What kind of a world is this? Do you understand what you're saying, that this is tyranny 101?
Yeah,
this is tyranny 101.
I feel like if they could remove protesters, like if there was more than one, and we went up there, they wouldn't remove us, but they would want to. And
Correct.
Just them wanting to is so un-American. It's unbelievable that you would want to, and they would do it if they could get away with it.
And then they gaslight you and say, "Oh no, that's not what we're doing."
Right.
No, it's not. It's not about that. It's about this vocal few who are trying to hijack the system.
And I heard a rumor that they were only going to block comments if it was just something about safety or something like that. And I saw a post on X where they turned off comments. So that rumor, even if the city manager told somebody that, it doesn't seem to be being followed right now.
Well, they went back, there was a few months ago when they were doing something on Talk of Titusville, the mayor was, and so the comments were just blasting him. So they shut it down, then they brought it back up, shut it down. They just have an aversion to people criticizing them.
Yeah. They think it's a vocal minority, and it's really just the majority finally having enough.
And they're tired of it.
Enough.
So do you think that this contributed to maybe the attorney?
I think it's possible, and it's probably not just this one thing, but that could have been a nail in the coffin. It just seems so coincidental that something like that, which it's not legal to turn, to say I'm going to let you comment on this and not that, and I think there's a lot of legal ambiguity there. They like to try new cases and go up to the state Supreme Court with stuff and set new precedent, which is a waste of our tax dollars.
Oh, again.
Just let people talk.
Right, and they don't want to do that because they've constructed a deceptive weave of things that they're doing that I think that it's hard to bring somebody else new into this, because if they see this craziness that they've constructed, I don't know that they would go along with it. This is why they want to rubber stamp people who've been here forever.
Yep.
And so that's the problem. And so we'll see what happens. What do you think that they go from here?
I guess they're going to have to open it up again. I mean, we have to have a city attorney. They have an outside firm that we're paying, and usually you're paying a premium for that. It's not a salaried person is actually cheaper. It's cheaper to do a salaried person than do a $400. And I think somewhere, I can't remember how much their rate is, but it's more than a salary employee. So I hope that they open the search back up and we find somebody. But they have to start being honest, and they have to start being more open to the public comments, because the more that they shut people down, the more that people are going to speak up and be upset with it. I would feel like they've gotten a message by now, but it just doesn't seem to be getting through.
It's not resonating.
I don't understand.
I mean, you would think, how hard is it just to say to the citizens, okay, we hear you, we're going to try to change, but I don't think it's in their DNA to do it.
Because you'll stand up there and say something in front of city council, and you maybe only have one person up there who says, oh yeah, I agree with you, and hey, let's do something about it, everybody, make a motion, and no one seconds it. No one wants to do anything about it.
Well, they're scared. Their overlords are handling them. And the only one that has said anything with regard to being pro-citizen is Megan Moscoso.
Yep.
And I just love, Megan, what you said, and we continue to put that up. They say, oh, we got to do the business of the city. And what did Megan say? The people are the business.
The people are the business. The people are the business. And there are people who can't make it to these meetings. And they deserve the right to know what is going on. But I want to know what the residents think. And that is even taking that away from me, because I get a better picture of the overall feel by hearing a lot of the public comment and thinking, oh, they're having issues with their cameras. Because it's not on the agenda, but you'll hear 10 people get up and talk about the cameras. That's how we know things.
And I think that she has heard that said before, but she said it eloquently. The people are the business, and that's absolutely true.
True.
And I don't think that they realize it, which brings us to the next point. Jason Steele. So you talk about cronyism, and some of you have said, BrevardNEWS, you don't know what you're talking about. There's no cronyism in Titusville. How about this? On consent agenda, what do they pass? A contract with Jason Steele. Now, Jason Steele, we all know him from his tyrannical days with the county commission, which was just passed. I think he helped Katie get elected. Thank you, Jason, for your tyrannical behavior.
Yeah.
But now they, on consent agenda, sign a contract with Jason Steele. The city of Titusville does. The same Jason Steele who in 2024 donated money to the campaign of, hold it, wait for it, Sarah Stokel.
Yeah, coincidence? They know each other. He endorsed her too.
He endorsed her.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And you're going to say there's no cronyism going on? Okay, if there's no cronyism going on, why did you put this on consent agenda? That was another thing that people said. Oh, we're not doing anything nefarious on consent agenda. Then why did you hide this?
Yeah, yeah. They put it on there because they didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
Because, they have interests in it. And who's to say that when he lobbies, he doesn't lobby not just for the city, but he lobbies for an individual on city council.
He's a professional lobbyist. Let me read this from concerning Jason Steele in this consent agenda item. The approval is requested for a professional lobbying service agreement with Smith and Associates, attorneys and counselors at law, and their representative, Jason Steele. Under this contract, Mr. Steele will coordinate the city's state-level activities, including appropriations, authorizations, grant proposals, legislative initiative, and policy matters with the state legislature and relevant state agencies. So why is Mr. Steele getting this and he is actually paid money to one of the sitting city council members? Is this pay for play?
Yeah, I don't know. I know he said right after he ended his term with the county commission that he said he was going to start his lobbying firm. And then right after that is when the city council, some people on the city council were like, we need to get a lobbyist for our city. When we keep bringing this stuff up and we say it on here, and just like you said, people are like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Correct.
And then we're like, okay, but well, at least we talked about it. And then they do something like this, and we're like, hello?
But we
are
don't
you guys
know.
listening to us?
But we don't know what we're talking about.
I
We
don't
don't know what we're talking
understand.
about.
This is the same guy, though, when he was on the county commission, when they were talking about using the tax abatement from the Live Local Act and say, well, we're not going to offer this tax abatement to a developer. I mean, if they charge more than a certain amount a month and you were in a certain area of the state that wasn't like short on low income housing, then you could say we're not going to do this tax abatement for the developer as an incentive. So basically take the incentives out for something that's over $2,000 a month or $3,000 anyway. So not do it for those people. And so he voted against it, and he said the governor signed it and was for it. So I'm for keeping the tax abatements there for developers, regardless. I'm not quoting him directly, but he said that he was for it and the governor signed it. So we should just keep it the way it is.
And he was all in on the Live Local Act, right?
So he's all
Basically.
for it. But yet, many on our city council, Sarah Stokel included, has said that she's against the Live Local Act, and they need to
She's against
it. That's what at least she said.
Against.
So if you're against it, if you really are against it, why would you hire somebody who is obviously for something that you and many people in the community have said is a bad deal for local governments? It's not great. So I don't understand why they do that.
So again, here's an example, and we've told you on Brevard News that they're using consent agenda to pass through things that they don't want you to know. Now, we were blasted when we said that. Here's a great example of it here, in which this guy, who has contributed to the campaign of people on the city council, is given a rubber stamp under the darkness of consent agenda, and he had already paid money to someone who is sitting on the city council. This is just bad. This is the textbook cronyism. And so Titusville, this is not even the worst of it. Titusville is just littered with this kind of cronyism. And this is why the city is in the state that it's in. And that brings us to, so Edgewater, this past week, last Monday, they actually stood up against the state and the Live Local Act, SB 180, and they said no. They have a moratorium on building, right?
Yeah.
And the attorney advised them, you better change this or the state's going to come after you. And they said they listened to the citizens. And the citizens said, no, we want you to stand your ground. Do not remove this moratorium. And lo and behold, Chris, they did it. They listened to the citizens against the attorney. Did that surprise you?
Yeah, it does actually surprise me, but that there's still local politicians somewhere that believe in doing their duty like they're supposed to be and like they took an oath to. And I think it's a glimmer of hope that maybe it is possible. Maybe what we're doing here, we can get to our goal of having politicians who listen to the will of the people, and it's just like the clean water, the right to clean water. They didn't listen to the people here locally, so and that was like an obvious will of the people. A lot of the other things are more subtle. People coming and speaking in city council. So I'm hoping that this is a shining example for them, for our local city council, to say maybe that's what we do. Maybe we actually help our city.
Well, and see, they didn't yield to the possibilities of what could happen to them that was outlined by the city attorney, one of which is they said that the governor can remove you from office.
Yeah.
And that didn't bother them. So they had all of these things, lawsuits, and they did not yield to that.
That's good. They're standing their ground for principle. They're standing for the right thing.
Absolutely.
And
we posted that on Brevard News because what struck me was that when you listen to the citizens, they were all behind the council, not yielding 1 inch.
Yeah.
And the council listened to them, which brings us to the question. And they wanted to join the Live Local lawsuits, and that's growing. Yeah. Where is Titusville, which is, Sarah Stoker is supposed to be the queen of home rule, but crickets.
Yeah, I don't know why she hasn't put a post out or something saying, I'm going to urge city council to join the lawsuit. I mean, she's been a vocal opponent of the Live Local Act and saying she's been going to Tallahassee and trying to get them to change it. I don't know why she wouldn't want to sue them when she was fine with suing the local citizens for the right to clean water.
Not got a problem suing citizens.
I didn't think so, yeah.
She didn't have a problem also getting attorneys against Vicki Conklin's request for the emails. So that's not bothered her before.
It's but if it's the state, well, the state, we don't want to do anything against them.
But so you have Edgewater, you have Orange County, you have municipalities all throughout this area joining this lawsuit against the state. I honestly think, I'm not a legal scholar, they should have a chance of winning. This seems unconstitutional what they're doing.
I think if all the municipalities get together and one voice say, we're done. This far, no further. You're not coming into our home rule anymore. We're not going to take it. I think they'll finally get the message that they shouldn't be doing this, and they'll reverse course on this. And that's what we need to do. That's what we all need to do. All the cities together need to do this. And you know what? If the city of Titusville after this decides to join the lawsuit, we will be right here commending them on it and saying that they're doing a great job of representing the people.
Right, sure, because all we try to call here is balls and strikes, balls and strikes. Where are the balls, where are the strikes? Right now, Titusville, they should have been one of the first cities that said, hey, we're on board with this.
Yeah.
I mean, you have small municipalities, Edgewater being one of them, who have come out and said, hey, where's the lawsuit? We're going to join it. But nothing from Titusville, nothing, crickets. You, the citizens, should join in and call your city council people and say to them, you want them to join this lawsuit in order to get rid of our SB 180, the Live Local Act, because it totally infringes upon the rights of the county and the city. And at some point in time, who's going to be running this? The state? Is the state going to rule everything from Tallahassee? I mean, that's where we're going with it.
That's what it used to be a long time ago, and then they finally did home rule and started giving power to the cities.
1967 wasn't it when they passed that?
I think so.
And so they've been itching to take it back all along.
Yep.
Trying to get it back.
Yep.
So there was also new information in the email situation. Looked like there's going to be a new consideration in the emails with Vicki Conklin. I think that there's a trial been set for September.
September sometime, yeah, I can't remember what day.
Were you surprised by that?
No, well, a little bit, because I thought the ruling had already been made and I'd already heard arguments on it. But if they have a new argument to say, I think the new argument is based on, if I remember right, the new argument is based on what the last ruling was. So they couldn't have the argument without that ruling. They're saying you're basically allowing them to stop discovery for information that is pertinent to the case, even if the person is not, or the entity is not a party to the lawsuit.
But Titusville was
the
arguing
evidence.
that, though, right?
Well, they're saying that So the last ruling was that the Titusville Police and City was not a party to the criminal case because the criminal case was brought by a state attorney. Titusville did the investigation and did the arrest warrant, but they're saying the ruling was that they weren't parties to the criminal case. But I think what the lawyer is saying now is, well, they may not be a party to it, but the evidence they have is relevant to the case.
But isn't that the point he was trying to make all along? They
I
just
think
want
so.
the evidence.
But I think maybe all the arguments pointed to that's what the judge is. So maybe the judge is now seeing this and saying, all right, it's really more about the evidence and not who's a party.
Chris, this seemed pretty reasonable. I'm not a legal scholar and I don't play one on TV, but this seemed reasonable that was what they were asking for from the very beginning.
I watch a lot of court cases, and it goes like this a lot of times because as a lawyer, they have to pick the right argument at the time. So their arguments might have been pointing to that they should be a party of the case or whatever. And now that they kind of lost on that, they're going to switch gears and say, let's just go for the evidence because that's what we want. But the other one they thought was probably stronger, but since they failed on it, let's try the other route and go that route. So, because when you're arguing for that, they like to keep their argument to that one point and not try to do, well, this and this, because then you could get some confusion and it takes longer to understand and you might not get one of your main points across. So they try to focus it. That's at least what I've seen by viewing a lot of these kind of cases. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But
with
the point
play.
is that Titusville is not wanting this out because they don't want to release the emails.
Their excuse,
which is public information.
yeah, and their excuse was it was going to be costly. But now it's been more. They paid more to lawyers than if they would have just released the emails. The fiduciary responsibility to the citizens seems so secondary to hurt feelings that because maybe they said something in an email about somebody that they don't want to be public, even though they were doing it on a public email server.
I think these emails will reveal more about who they are.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't reveal misdoings, I think it's going to reveal a lot about who the people are that are in office and the city of Titusville. And could it be possible that that's what they're trying to protect?
I think so. I think we spent lots of money on lawyers for pride,
Right.
which is a sin. And I think that's not only is it a sin, but it's a travesty for the citizens and the taxpayers of the city.
With anybody's email, if you get anyone's email, you're going to learn a lot about that person.
Yeah.
Right? Because people say in emails things that they wouldn't say
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah.
So you're going to find out a lot of information about Chief Lau, maybe, about Andrew Connors, about maybe the former manager, Larice. All this information, Major Rights, all this information, I think that's what they're trying to protect.
Yeah.
And probably, who knows, with Titusville, you're probably protecting some nefarious things as well.
Yep, I agree.
Do you think that they're going to get it?
I hope so. I don't know. I mean, it seems like I don't see why those emails are not relevant to her case because of that's what set it all up. I mean, they were setting this up. I think it's very relevant to her case of what they talked about and what their plan, if they planned it along with the mayor.
And there is information that it looks like this was planned.
Yeah.
I mean, because we had information that was being delved out early that morning, and you say, how could this person have known this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Except it was planned.
I think it was planned. I mean, it's pretty obvious it was planned. And it was done in a way to provoke. And so when you provoke somebody and you try to entrap them, that's another legal thing. So really, if they get the emails and prove entrapment, that's a whole nother case for TPD. If they did entrapment, and they were party to it. So if they knew about what Andrew was going to do, and they helped him in any way, then that's the state acting in entrapment. I mean, I'm not a lawyer
a lot of evidence
on that, but that's probably why. That's the only thing I can think of why they would want to stop these emails from coming out because they're a party to it because they helped plan and execute this.
But when you look at the timeline of what happened there, and we go back and look at the timeline, and this is important because of accountability. You go back and you look at the track record of what happened and how it happened, the timing, it doesn't look good for TPD.
No, it doesn't.
It looks like that they were involved in this.
It was like the fastest investigation I've ever seen. I've never even seen someone
For a misdemeanor.
for a sign,
A
plastic
misdemeanor.
sign. It was crazy.
Well, we'll see. This is not going away, and we'll see what happens with that in the future. The other thing is Chief Lau has not released the videos.
All of the videos.
And I think all of the videos. And so I think he's wanting to just slow play this and let everybody forget about it and just
for the
let it.
February shooting, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He wants to just let it go as long as it possibly can. The strategy is the out of sight, out of mind. People will forget about it. What say you?
I think so. I think there was supposed to be a community meeting, right? That they had all the leaders that they chose to come view it. I haven't heard how that went or if it's gone on yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it.
But it seems weird once again that he wants to somehow preface it and try to get ahead of what ahead of what? Ahead of the videos being released, because they've only released like body cam for 1 or 2 officers.
Correct.
And there were plenty of officers there on scene.
Yeah, I think there's 5 that we put in requests for, which we've not heard back from them. Again, we're going to look into attorneys to try to get those.
Which is crazy, because I did a request for the guy who got arrested at City Hall. It took about a week for me to get the video.
No problem at all.
It was 1 week. That was it. So
Right.
Is there an active investigation still going on? Some reason why they won't release the other body cam, or was it once again a pride thing that someone said something that some people found offensive or something? I don't know. I mean, we don't know until we get all the videos.
Well, it's really essential that we get those videos and that this information gets out. This is not going away, no matter how much they think it might go away. It's not going away because it's really crucial to find out what happened on that night. And we have information that tells us what happened on that night. We want to see if those videos reconcile the information that we have on hand. And so it's crucial to get those body cam videos. I don't understand why you wouldn't release it unless there is complicity. And as you look at the video that was released, I understand why he did the narration he did. Because Chief Lau, I would have done the narration too. When I look at that video that you released, the one you actually released, I see why you're holding on to him. I see why you don't want to release him. It doesn't look good. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. I wouldn't release that video without saying something about it.
Right.
And try to cover my butt. Yeah.
Well, and it's looked like what's happening there is that he's trying to piecemeal it because there's something. You don't do that unless you're hiding something, unless you don't want something to come out. And that's become so obvious at this point. The other thing is Bayas being released on the street, back on the street. That's a bad idea. This guy should never, I don't even think he should be working a desk job. But being on the street with a gun, this guy should never be released on the street with a gun again. And that's what the community is concerned about. What say you on that?
Yeah, it's such a short time between shootings on the job. It's very concerning. And, even if it was in the line of duty that anyone else put in his position would have done, I still think, for the purpose of luck, let's cut, let's try to reduce that issue from happening. So let's not have him patrol. Let's put him somewhere where he's not going to be in that position, because it seems bad luck follows him.
Well, and it's just not this shooting. Again, it goes back to the Coco shooting. And again, I have his record sitting on my desk at home, and I was just looking at it the other day. This guy is filled with trouble. Coco, Titusville, no matter where you look, this guy has been reprimanded over and over and over and over again. So it's not just that. And so this is just, you wouldn't think that that's good wisdom to put this guy back out on the street.
I mean, someone who cooks fries for a living gets written up that much, they're going to get fired. This guy carries a gun. Right.
And it's just boggles the mind that they would even think about putting this guy back on the street. But where are we at? Titusville. That says it all. And that's the Titusville Report for this week. Thanks for joining myself and Christopher Childs, and we'll see you again next week on the Titusville Report.